Previously on Aaron Turner's Game Reviews. It's time for your Sonic Advance 2 review. Fine. You need to go through the process of collecting 28 Chaos Emeralds to unlock Amy Rose. Oh, but don't forget, you also need to suffer through the boss fights 28 times, which also means you need to do the boss rush at the end too, which means you actually need to fight the bosses a total of 56 times. All of this just to unlock Amy fucking Rose, a character who I don't even like playing as. Ah! Alright folks, sorry about that. I'll explain the situation. Basically, we had to take Aaron to a mental asylum as a result of having to review Sonic Advance 2. Although if you ask me, I think this has been building for a while. I mean, this is his 35th game review, so maybe that's the reason he went insane. But wait, if Aaron's in a mental asylum, who's gonna review the next game? Ah shit, that's right. He's scheduled to review the next Mario Kart game. What are we supposed to do? Hey Sonic, look who's here! Oh, Tails, you're back! How was prison? It wasn't so bad. Made a few friends, but then they all got killed in fights. Oh my god, that's terrible. That must have scarred you for life. I'm over it. Where's Aaron? He went completely insane, man. We had to put him in a mental asylum. Wait, so who's gonna review games now? That's what we've been thinking about. Well, I'm sure we can review games while Aaron's recovering. What are you kidding? We can't review games. Besides, the next game is a Mario Kart. We can't review our own rival franchise. I mean, could you imagine if we ended up liking it? Oh, come on, Sonic. Hey, Sonic, we might as well give it a try. Alright, sure, go ahead. But if we end up praising it and Sega finds out, we're all gonna be in deep shit. Whatever, I've been to jail. I'm not scared of anything. Well, since none of us have actually touched a Mario game because we're legally not allowed to play Mario games on account of working for Sega, we gotta play the game before reviewing it. Also, I only found one controller, so we're gonna have to take turns. So this is the first fully 3D Mario Kart. Let's start with the Grand Prix on 150cc. Alright, let's get started here. Oh wow, there's actually a lot of characters to choose from. It looks like every character from Mario Kart 64 and Super Circuit are here, plus Koopa Troopa from Super Mario Kart. And there's new characters. We have Daisy from Super Mario Land, Birdo from the American Super Mario Bros. 2, and what the hell? Baby Mario and Baby Luigi? What a weird inclusion. Yeah, I hope we don't ever see those characters in a Mario Kart game again. Hey wait, who's this character underneath Toad? Oh, that's Toadette. She was created specifically for this game so that Toad could have a partner. Wait, what do you mean partner? Wait a minute, you get to choose 2 characters per kart? Yeah, that's the idea for Double Dash, hence the name. And you couldn't have mentioned that earlier? That would have been very helpful. Okay, so I guess I should go over the team-ups in this game. You have Mario and Luigi, Peach and Daisy, and Yoshi and Birdo, which makes sense since they're both dinosaur characters. But then you got Mario and Luigi again, but as babies. That's pretty lazy, honestly. They must have run out of team-up ideas. And then, of course, you have Toad and Toadette. So is Toadette his girlfriend, his sister, or his cousin or something? Who knows? Although I will say her design is pretty cool, what with the pink and white color combination with the pigtails. Well, next we have Koopa Troopa with Paratroopa. What the fuck kind of combination is that? They just put a Koopa alongside a flying Koopa? That's just as lazy as Toadette. Anyway, at least the next 3 teams make sense. Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, Bowser and Bowser Jr., and Wario and Waluigi. Wait a minute, then there's Petey Piranha from Mario Sunshine, alongside King Boo from Luigi's Mansion? That's a very odd pairing. Also, it looks like each character has their own designated cart with their own stats, which is pretty nice. Alright, Sonic, I think we've talked about the character selection enough. Let's get into the cups. Alright, so the game has 4 cups. It appears that the Lightning Cup from Super Circuit doesn't make a return. So how about each of us plays a cup and then we give our thoughts? I'll start with the Mushroom Cup. Luigi Circuit starts you off, and it's a pretty good opening course, I guess. Then you have Peach Beach, which is a great track. Obviously, it's very much a Mario Sunshine-inspired track, and it's pretty cool. There's also some fun shortcuts to take. Baby Park is a very unique track due to the fact that it's just everyone going around in circles. Because of how fast it goes by, it actually has 7 laps. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this track. I understand the gimmick with it being all hectic and having a bunch of items everywhere, but I don't find it to be all that great. although it's not nearly as bad as the last track in this cup, which is Dry Dry Desert. I hate this track, mainly due to the amount of annoying obstacles in the way. You have spinies fucking everywhere, plus there's tornadoes to avoid. And there's this huge thing of quicksand that can be pretty hard to avoid. The Mushroom Cup is not all that great, although the standout is definitely Peach Beach. So Tails, how was the Flower Cup? The Flower Cup was awesome. You start off with Mushroom Bridge, which is one of those tracks with traffic to avoid. It's a really fun track. Mario Circuit is definitely the least interesting track in this bunch, but it's not terrible. It's got this really annoying chain chomp that can be hard to avoid. Daisy Cruiser is awesome. You're racing on a fucking cruise ship. What more needs to be said? Then you finish things off with Waluigi Stadium. You go through jumps and have all these twists and turns. So yeah, the Flower Cup was great, and I bet it will end up being better than any of the other cups. Alright, Knuckles, it's your turn. Knuckles? Knuckles, wake the fuck up, it's your turn. Huh? Oh shit, yeah, alright, so the Star Cup. The Star Cup is pretty good. It starts off with Sherbert Land. It's pretty slippery, that's what she said, but it's still pretty fun. Mushroom City is another course involving traffic, but it takes place on a road at nighttime. I really like this track. Even though it's easier to get hit, it has different pathways, and I really like the background. Then there's Yoshi Circuit, which was my least favorite, although it is clever how the whole track is in the shape of Yoshi himself. The Star Cup finishes on DK Mountain, which is easily my favorite. You start by going uphill into a cannon which fires you into a mountain. You tumble down with some sharp turns and then go across a bridge. Well, that's the Star Cup. Who wants to talk about the Special Cup? I guess I'll talk about the Special Cup. It starts with Wario Coliseum, which is a giant track with only 2 laps. This track is awesome and is probably one of the best in the game. Dino Dino Jungle is probably the worst out of the Special Cup. I don't hate this track, it's a creative concept for a course with dinosaurs and whatnot, but the stupid bridge pisses me off. It's so easy to fall off, and it's mainly due to the shitty turning in the game, but we'll get to that later. Of course, you have Bowser's Castle, which is pretty damn good. Not sure how it compares to the other Bowser's Castle courses, but I really enjoyed this one. There's some narrow sections here and there with a bunch of obstacles, but it's not too bad. And of course, just like every Mario Kart, the final track is Rainbow Road. You gotta be careful when going through the spiral, but I certainly like this particular Rainbow Road. And that's all the tracks the game has to offer. However, there is technically a 5th cup called the All Cup Tour, which is unlocked after beating the Special Cup on 150cc. It's just basically a marathon of all 16 tracks. You start off with Luigi's Circuit and then play the next 14 tracks in a random order until you get to the 16th track, which is always Rainbow Road. I guess it's the game's ultimate challenge for the player, but to me it just kind of feels tacked on last minute to give the game more content. It's fun to play all of them at once, but the fact that you need to get first place in the All Cup Tour in 150cc in order to unlock a mirror mode is kind of a pain in the ass. And speaking of mirror mode, it was brought back from 64, and upon beating the All Cup Tour in mirror mode, you unlock an extra cart, the Parade Cart, with the best stats in the game, and can be used with any character combination. Speaking of the unlockables in this game, I have to say that the game is very rewarding. You know how with some games you try to 100% it and complete everything there is to complete, but then you find that it wasn't really worth it? Well, Mario Kart Double Dash has a lot of things to complete, but there's a lot of unlockables in the game, which makes it very rewarding and satisfying to complete everything. Now, fortunately, Arron has already unlocked everything in the game for us, so we didn't have to do anything. So that's everything you can do in the Grand Prix mode, but there is of course time trial mode as well as battle mode and versus mode. The latters of which we of course didn't play because, like I said, I only found one controller. These modes are only available for 2 or more players. Versus mode is customizable with the number of laps and items you want. It's a shame that one player can't play these modes, especially considering that the game's successors have that option. There's also co-op play, where one player takes control of the driver, while the other takes control of the item thrower. Well, I guess that leads us into the gameplay style. As we mentioned earlier, Double Dash features 2 characters per cart. One is the driver, and one is the item thrower. Also featured in this game is double item boxes, allowing each character to hold an item. It's a nice way to hold 2 different items and be able to switch between them. Speaking of items, almost all of the items from Super Circuit return in this game. However, each team in the game has a special item that's exclusive to those particular characters. Mario and Luigi have fireballs, Peach and Daisy have these hearts surrounding their cart that collects any item that hits it, Yoshi and Birdo have an egg that homes in on someone and splits into 3 different items upon impact. The stupid baby characters have a giant chain chomp that carries them away and smashes into others. Toad and Toadette have a golden mushroom, the Koopas have triple green shells and red shells respectively, DK and Diddy have a giant banana that splits into smaller ones upon impact. Bowser and Bowser Jr. have a giant Bowser shell, and Wario and Waluigi have a Bomb-Omp. Personally, I think the special items are pretty cool. Well, alright, it's time for me to bitch and complain about them then. First of all, Yoshi and Birdo's egg item is basically just like the red shell, except it splits into 3 items. And then you have the giant banana and giant Bowser shell, which just feel like gimmicks. Also, the golden mushroom and triple shells, which were available to every character in previous games, can only be used by the Toads and Koopas. And then there's Wario and Waluigi with their Bomb-Omp. Now, to be fair, this is the item's first appearance in a Mario Kart game, but still, it became available to every other character in later games. Oh, and something Tails neglected to mention is Petey Piranha and King Boo's special item. Their special item is that they have access to all of the special items. Ugh, seriously? These special items are either gimmicky or just lazy. It feels more like they're trying to justify the whole 2 characters per cart thing. I don't really understand the point of it other than exclusive items. Oh, come on, Sonic. You're just bad at the game. Mario Kart Double Dash is all about testing your skill. The 2 characters per cart is awesome. You can switch between items, and the special items aren't that bad. The Fireballs, the Heart, the Chain Chomp, and the Bomb-Omp are all great items. I mean, could you imagine playing co-op with someone and trying to work as a team? Okay, 1, I agree with you that the fact that you can juggle 2 different items at once is a nice feature. 2, you only mention the special items that I don't really have a problem with. However, the majority of them are dumb. And 3rd, sure, the co-op would be a fun experience, but in terms of only 1 player, I personally find that the game doesn't justify 2 characters per cart. So now that we've talked at length about the items, let's talk about the controls. While I don't think the controls are bad, I do have 2 minor issues. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, the steering isn't the best. It feels like the slightest movement on the analog stick will make the cart turn way too much. It's not that big a deal. I don't know if everyone would have a problem with it, but it's something that bothered me, especially during really tight paths like on bridges. The drifting, however, is actually really good. Also, I don't like the designated item button. To use an item, you have to press the X or Y button. Now, this wouldn't be a big issue if the buttons weren't so close together. I mean, look at this, it's a GameCube controller. You have to move your finger slightly over to the X or Y buttons to use an item while making sure you don't move off of the acceleration button. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just a minor inconvenience. It could have easily been fixed if they just designated one of the shoulder buttons as the one you use for items. Alright, let's each give our final thoughts about the game. Well, I for one thought the game was fantastic. I love the courses, and unlike you, I actually like the items. Mario Kart Double Dash is better if you actually are more skilled at it, and can handle the 2 characters per cart well. Not that the game is hard or anything, but I just don't think Sonic understands it. Yeah, Tails, you're right, I don't understand it. The game just feels too gimmicky to me. I don't hate this game, there's a lot of great things it has, and there's a lot of fun to be had. The majority of the courses are great, and I love that every character has their own cart. Personally, my favorite cart is the Turbo Yoshi. It has a good balance of speed, acceleration, and handling. I like the Koopa King, it's got the best speed. Yeah, the speed on it is great, but the acceleration is shit. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Mario Kart Double Dash is a pretty good game, but in my opinion has quite a bit of flaws. Flaws? Sonic, please, you just don't understand it. Maybe try being better at the game. Would you shut up about that? That's all your counter-argument is. I don't understand it. Have you even been listening to any of my complaints? And why can't you even acknowledge any of my positives? You know, when I said Double Dash is a pretty good game, and that there's plenty of fun to be had? What the hell? Are they arguing about Mario Kart Double Dash? Look, Sonic, I just think there's more to appreciate about the game. Wait, I just realized that Knuckles hasn't said anything in a while. Oh yeah, hey Knuckles, what are your final thoughts about the game? Knuckles? Oh, for fuck's sake, is he sleeping again? Knuckles! Huh? Oh shit, did I fall asleep again? Oh, sorry about that. Jeez, Knuckles, what's the problem? I don't know, I guess I just don't find fast-paced games very entertaining. Are you serious? I mean, yeah, why do you think I got all the slow-paced emerald hunting gameplay in the adventure games? Well, can you at least give us your rating? I guess 5 out of 10. Well, I thought the game was a lot of fun. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Alright, well, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. See, Sonic, I told you we could review a game for Arron. Yeah, let's just hope that Sega doesn't hear about it. Ah, shit, that's probably Sega. Sonic, what's this I hear about a review you guys did of Mario Kart Double Dash? Yeah, it's true, sir, but we only did it because the guy who usually reviews it is currently in a mental asylum. Look, I don't care about your bullshit excuse. You know you can't be reviewing Mario games. It makes us look bad. If I see another Mario review from you guys, all 3 of you are fired. Alright, sorry, sir. What did he say, man? Well, let's just say we better stop reviewing Mario games. Well, what should we review next? Oh, I have an idea. Why don't we review a Sonic game? How about Sonic Heroes? I mean, clearly nothing can go wrong with reviewing one of our own games, right?